it's Eva and I'm back with another one of those hacks, tips, types of videos. Don't mind the paint if you ever see it on the sleeve, it's just ignore it. Anyways, I have these ones and these ones are real as usual and they actually work because I've done them before and I've tested them. They're not just things that I've googled off the internet because they actually work. You're welcome. In particular, today we're going to be talking about how to break in your shoes, or easy ways to do it, or ways to avoid getting blisters and all that nasty stuff. This video kind of came up when my sister bought me new shoes and I was like, oh shoot, I have to break them in, don't I? What a hassle, it's just some extra work. But at the same time, I know it's not going to hurt as much because I've broken in lots and lots of shoes in my lifetime. If you're a girl, you've broken in lots and lots of shoes in your lifetime too, and we've kind of found a way to make it not hurt as much, not blister as much, etc. So in this video, I want to share with you guys all the tips that worked for me, and breaking in these shoes actually isn't that bad since I'm so used to breaking in shoes now. And just a little background before we start, breaking in shoes is basically making the shoes more comfortable because they're new, so they're stiff, and kind of just molding it to the exact size of your feet, or not exact, but kind of in a comfortable shape for your feet. By the way, I'm waving around the little notebook with all tips over here. And basically the bad thing about breaking them in is just you get blisters and all that gross stuff and scratches and it bleeds sometimes and it's not fun. And according to Google, blisters are from friction and pressure, aka your shoes not fitting well. I'm so smart, I know how to click the first link off Google. Okay, so let's start off with the first tip, and this tip was kind of weird. I actually heard it from a friend that told me to use deodorant on all the places that tend to get blisters, and I was like, what? Why would I use deodorant? Why does that even work? Why? And so I did test it, and I tested it with the new shoes actually that my sister got me since I just found out about this tip recently, and it doesn't make it not hurt, but it also does help with not blistering. I was in the shoes for quite some time and it didn't really blister. It also didn't hurt as much. I think it just kind of creates like a bit of a layer between your skin and the shoe, and it's good because if your deodorant doesn't get everywhere and it's not one of those ones that leave marks everywhere, it's not gonna ruin your shoes at all. Next up is shoe liners, and I kind of found this one out by accident, and it's mainly good for those shoes where the back of the shoe kind of just digs into the back of your foot because maybe your foot isn't tall enough, and when you bend it, it kind of just digs into that skin over there and creates cuts and everything, and it's very unpleasant. But putting in liners actually gives you that extra height inside the shoe, so it kind of makes your foot be leveled up a lot higher, and so it doesn't get cut as much, and that actually helped me a lot. In fact, I have quite a few extra liners in my room now just because I've ordered them off eBay in case I ever need to use them for shoes that don't show, obviously. And honestly, some liners are extra comfortable, especially if you get those high grade ones, so not only does it help prevent that, but it's also very comfortable. Alright, so I think this is something that everybody has done before, but basically when you get a blister, you put a Band-Aid on so it doesn't hurt as much, and so I'm sure that most of us have actually tried putting on Band-Aids right before we actually try and break in our shoes and wear it out, which, by the way, if you're planning on breaking in shoes, you probably shouldn't wear them all day. You should probably bring an extra pair of shoes, just a side note, but I'm sure everyone's always tried that, and I think that it does help to some extent, depending on where you put the Band-Aids, but sometimes it does kind of peel away and everything, and it's just very unpleasant because the Band-Aid comes off and it's flapping everywhere, and people walking behind you are probably like, ew, her Band-Aid is flapping around everywhere, that's so gross. Yeah, that's happened to me. In fact, I've just ripped off the Band-Aid and threw it in the garbage because I'm like, screw this looks so gross, and it feels so nasty having the Band-Aid go flap, 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 just because the shoe kind of scraped off the Band-Aid. So what you can do, in case you don't really care about it showing and stuff, you can actually take some type of medical Band-Aid or even duct tape, and these things stick on real well, so make sure that you stick it on some type of like fabric or something beforehand just to make it less sticky, because when you take it off at the end of the day, you don't want it to hurt. So just stick it onto something a few times right before and just put it on the back of your ankle or anywhere where you think it's gonna irritate before putting on the shoe, and again, it just kind of creates like a barrier between your foot and the shoe. This one is obvious too. I feel like everyone's probably done this before, and it's wearing socks. Nowadays, there are all types of socks. There's socks for flats, there's super thin pantyhose socks, there's full-size thick socks, there's all sorts of socks. And socks kind of add like a bit of a cushion, and not to mention that extra layer as well. They're super comfortable, but for some shoes it just doesn't cut it, especially if the shoe fits your feet the way it's supposed to fit. You know, it's just, it ends up being too squished and too compressed. So this doesn't always work, but you can definitely try testing it out with different socks. Okay, so this is something that I've learned from experience, just like everything else, and I don't know if everybody's had this problem or if it's just me because I'm stupid, but when I'm wearing sneakers or running shoes, it tends to get blistered at the back sometimes if I walk around in it too much. And I was wondering for the longest time, like, why? I'm wearing socks, I'm wearing shoes that are meant for exercising / walking, and it's super cushioned. Why? Why is this a thing? And actually I found out that it's because I didn't tighten the sneakers enough, because I'm the type of person where it's like, I like shoes that you can slip on and off. That means I don't want to spend time, you know, tying it up, you know, loosening the laces, tightening it again just to put it on. It's just too much work for me, so I always left them loose. But actually the problem is the fact that your heels just keep kind of lifting out of the shoe, going back in, and sometimes it's not even a lot that it lifts up, so you don't notice it, but it does make a difference. And that friction of like up down type of thing, it does cause blisters. So what I found is just I kind of have to take some extra time and tighten up my sneakers to make sure that they're really on my feet well, so that it doesn't have to rub back and forth. It's the little things that you don't think matter, but they do matter. This is for those shoes that are too tight. This is kind of like a given type of thing, but some people don't really go through that extra step, but it does make a difference if you do, is to just stretch out your shoes so that you have more space to move and it just feels more comfortable, so it's not like your toes are being squeezed or anything. And there's so many methods on the internet of how to stretch your shoes. I can list some of them for you guys right now, and one of them is just using your hairdryer and kind of wiggling your toes inside of your shoe. But with that one you have to be careful depending on what your shoes are made out of, just because sometimes some material doesn't work well with heat. The other one is just putting a baggie full of water inside the shoe and just sticking it in the freezer so it expands. There's also kind of like springy contraptions that people specifically have to stretch the shoe. You can go to professionals to stretch it. There's so many different ways, and all you have to do is do a quick Google search. Like, there's just endless possibilities of how to stretch your shoe so it fits. And this is, I would say, more specific for people who like to fit into smaller shoes, or just find shoes that are super duper cute but their feet are just slightly too big, so they need to stretch it out so it doesn't hurt. And finally is to really mold it to your feet without it hurting. Just one, don't wear it out for long periods of times, especially if you know that you're breaking it in and it's gotta hurt. If anything, just go for a light walk, wear it around the house, or just while you're sitting down at work or at the computer or just at the office or something. Just to switch shoes into the shoes you want to break in, just so that it starts to mold around your feet and it kind of just starts to fit you better. And plus you can always take it off whenever you want, because you are sitting down, so it's not going to be strenuous on your feet as if you were like working a full day with it on your feet too. Hopefully you guys like these tips. If you guys have any other tips and tricks in terms of trying to avoid blisters or abrasions or any type of irritations from breaking in your shoes, let us know down below, because I'm pretty sure everybody wants to know all the different ways you can do it, because breaking in shoes is not fun. Nobody likes it. Make sure you give me a big thumbs up if you haven't yet, and make sure you subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!